Boom, I want to share something because that's probably gonna fuck your minds about the feeling of being enough and doing enough and being good enough and all these kinds of things. In one of my episodes, I talked a lot about reciprocity, about exchange, and even when I think of my core values, exchange is there, reciprocity is there. So there's always, this I give, you give, I give, you give. And it's great. I really think that it is great because it's always a contribution. I never take anything for granted. I don't take people for granted or spaces or anything. Everywhere I go, it's always like so mindful and intentional. Oh, les petits oiseaux. Just listen to the birds. Genre, tu vois? Listen. I find this so cute. Genre, it's 1:37 in the afternoon and we still hear the birds and it's sunny. Tu vois? That's what I'm talking about. Mindfulness and intentionality. Because I believe that everything is really precious. Like the conversation that you can have with someone when somebody invites you to their place, the home that they host you in, even going to a restaurant or anything. I just always take time to sort of pay attention to where I am, to the details, to what I feel, and be like, ah ouais, putain, like the person who built that just must have been so thorough and thoughtful about what it is that they wanted to build and the kind of feeling and emotions that they wanted to share by having people over. Do you know what I mean? This is the level of intentionality that I have, and I really think that everything, again, that I step into is very precious. And this goes even more in relationships. And I think that my whole life, I was always in this constant sort of dynamic of exchange. If you do something for me, I have to do something for you as well, and I've been challenged on that reciprocity during 2025, where I sort of like, it's not take for granted, but it's like I assume that if I do something, if I do something for you, then you will do something for me at some point. But I realize that this is not always the case. And this is where my overgiving, came through, because it's like, oh, maybe they didn't see it, so okay, I need to give more, then I will give more, and I always end up giving more, and then people just take advantage of it. And not everybody, obviously, but in any case, when someone does something for me, I always say it's like such a huge thing. Like I go again into this mindfulness and intentionality of like, oh putain, it must have taken so much of their time or their finances. It's like I make it a big thing, but because this is probably my way of appreciating people and how far they can go for me, right? But in that sense as well, I never feel like I deserve it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't deserve this, so I need to give back at the same level or even more. Again, this is how my overgiving came about. And I'm telling you all of this, realizing this, you know what I mean? Like I'm connecting the dots. I'm like, oh putain, this is actually wild. That's why I'm telling you, these are shower thoughts. The walkathon, whenever I walk, whenever I'm in movement, I'm connecting the dots, and this is where I'm like, ah ouais, putain. So just so you know, none of my episodes are ever rehearsed. I have this idea, I just go along with it. Maybe sometimes it's rambling, but I know it makes sense, and at least for me it makes sense, and hopefully for you it makes sense as well. But anyways, going back to that topic of exchange and reciprocity and contribution, it's great, but this also brings that side. And I had the conversation. Before the conversation, let me just take you back to this weekend when I was in Bergen for my friend's festival. She did a beautiful festival, and usually when I come to festivals, it's like I just stay the whole festival. Okay. I even make pictures, I even make videos. I'm here present in the room physically. And this week, and it's like I just 10 of hearts, love it. I am just here, and for me it's a sign of like respect, because the organizer has put so much of their time, resources, energy into creating this event and also bringing these people. So it's like, again, I give back. I am present. If you need me, I will help you, I will support you. And I've never had this relationship with any of the organizers who invited me, where it's like, oh, I'm the artist, you should be my bitch sort of thing. It's like, no, we're two human beings. You invite me. I'm so fucking appreciative. If you need my help, I will help you, you know? But almost to an obsessive sort of like attempt of, oh, but look at her, she must need help. Like I must intervene, I must be involved, I must, you know? It becomes something that's not even I want to, but becomes something that I must because they invite me. It feels like it's like I owe them something. Do you know what I mean? And this weekend, I don't know if it's because I am extremely exhausted and I'm still recovering from 2025, or because Hafsa is Tunisian, so she's like me. There's this common sort of like cultural thing that just makes us, you know, very close already, and it just felt super easy with her. It just really, really felt super, super easy. Whereby this, okay, first is it felt super easy, and second, I am finally recognizing my value, you know, and what I bring to the table as a human being, as an artist, as a teacher, as an organizer, as a creator, as a fucking human being with a fucking beating heart, who's like an extraordinary human being. Do you know what I mean? So these two came hand in hand over this weekend, and what happened was I really wanted to help her. So I recorded the classes on Saturday because she didn't have another videographer. So I volunteered as tribute and told her, hey, I'm just gonna make a few movies, I'm gonna make a recap, because I was like, well, I'm excited. She's such a beautiful human being. She did this with such a beautiful heart, and I know how, I don't know, it almost felt like, oh, I see myself in her. As she does that, she's like quality over quantity, and you could feel it in everything that she did, you know. And with us anyways, like in our culture, it's like, okay, everybody is fed before I am fed. So I really found a lot of resonance in who she is and how she behaves and how she just holds herself, and how she just did and created this whole event that I was like, I just really want to help her. I want to support her. I want to do these videos. I want to create content for her as well. And also, to be honest, I also took the opportunity because I had my camera and I was like, well, I really love doing this. You know, I'm having this huge excitement about creating stories, sharing stories, and just like, it really just super pumps my heart, you know? And so I did that for her. And after that, I was dead. You know, I gave my class. I created content for the two other classes on Saturday, and then I was dead. There was one class left, and I was like, I can't. I'm not going to record content. I'm not going to do anything. What I need right now is I need to rest. Do you know what I did for the first time in my life? I rested. I went into the artist's room, you know, closed the doors, ate my fucking crackers, watched some dog videos, and that was it. I literally rested. Period. I didn't go into the whole, oh, but I need to still show up, still be present for her, still do something, still whatever, you know what I mean? And I realized that it was just a lot of doing and not enough being. And in that moment when I sat, I felt really good, and I felt really proud of myself because I listened to my needs, but it also made me realize how much more value and validation I give to myself, you know? And not necessarily, oh, but what are people think? What are the students gonna think? What are the other artists gonna think? Oh, but does that make me like a bad person? Does that make me a bad artist? Are they gonna invite me again? And all these kinds of things and questions that I've asked myself in the past, I didn't ask them because I knew right there and then, and not because I created extra content for her, but I knew right there and then that I was like, I'm enough. What I'm doing is enough. The fact that I'm here, physically present, is enough. Just the fact that I'm fucking existent is enough. And also, I delivered. I've over-delivered even because it was pure joy for me. But for once, really the validation came from me and not from anybody else, not from the comments, not from the hype, from the students or anything. And of course, I welcomed the compliments. I welcomed the gratitude and the thank yous and the hugs and everything. And for once, I also welcomed my own you know. And it was not a whole, oh, you give me a compliment, oh, but no, don't worry, you did all of that. And I'm like, yeah, of course you did all of that, but I did a lot of it too. Do you know what I mean? And it felt really, 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 really good. And not in an egoistic way, but just as a reminder of, it always starts with you. It always starts with your self-validation, your self-applause, your self-hype, you know. And then it reminded me that every time I teach now, I'm like super nervous. And I saw this, like nervous, like shaking and just like, oh my God, blah, 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 because I don't do this on a daily basis anymore. So again, it made me appreciate the fact that I was there, and the fact that I was invited, and the fact that I'm doing such a beautiful, quote unquote, job. It made me appreciate all of that even more. And I was like, oh wow, this is such a, again, super special, super precious moment to be here, to do this, to have this body that helps me do this, and to have the story, to have the capacity, to have the skills to actually do that, to carry a space, to carry people, to bring them into my world, and to just be fucking happy and proud of my own world, you know? Donc voilà, that's the thought I'm leaving you with today. Really start with your own appreciation, validation, because then the rest is super easy. You know, I didn't even give a shit anymore about whether or not I was fitting. I know I don't teach like anybody else. Everybody teaches their own ways. But I know for me, my rapport to dance is almost like spiritual. You know, it's like, oh my God, again, this intentionality that I have towards my body, towards the fact that I can move, towards the fact that I'm good at dancing, towards the fact that God gave me this gift, and all these kinds of things. It just makes my experience of myself and my experience of my teaching and my dancing really very special. And I know it now. I really, really realize it. It took me 7 years of having my own dance school to realize that. I never realized it when I was teaching on a regular basis, but now I do realize it. So again, make sure that whenever you do something, you realize how much of an extraordinary person that you are, and how validating yourself first, before anything else, before anybody else, validating your ideas, your thoughts, your beliefs, your hype, you know, is what's really changing everything in your life.